Hey everyone, so today's practice is going to be a gentle yoga practice where we'll be focusing on the side body. And all you'll need as far as props is a wall. So grab some wall space and meet me with legs up the wall. Actually, hey everyone, so today's practice is going to be a gentle yoga practice and we're going to focus a lot on the side body. No props are necessary here, but if you happen to have a block, grab it. We might use it along the way. Wall space would be great. We're going to definitely use that at the beginning, but you don't have to have it. You can certainly just place your feet on the floor as opposed to legs up the wall. But if you have it, go ahead and grab some wall space and meet me with legs up the wall. So if you're lucky enough to have the space here to do something on the wall, we want to make sure that there's no strain in the back of the hamstrings. So just take a moment there when you stretch your legs up to just notice how it feels. If it feels pretty good, you can stay right there. If you need to scoot back away from the wall to make it more comfortable, go ahead and find a place where you can relax here. And let's bring the arms out to a goalpost shape. And just close the eyes. Begin to simply observe the breath. We're not looking to change or manipulate the breath just yet, but just noticing that natural breath that you started with. Noticing the places in the body that move as you breathe. Noticing that natural ebb and flow. And beginning to observe the breath in the ribs. Noticing as you breathe in, the lungs filling with air from bottom to top. The ribs expanding all the way around, three-dimensionally. And now starting to see if you can feel the breath filling the body from bottom to top. And gently releasing from top back down to bottom. Creating this natural, effortless breath that will take us all the way through our practice. Stretching your arms overhead. Maybe stretching your toes up towards the ceiling. Give yourself a nice deep stretch here. And then as you exhale, hug the knees into the chest, round in, bring the forehead towards the knees. And then laying the head, neck, and shoulders back down on the mat, releasing just your left leg back up the wall. Hug your right knee in towards your chest, and let's flex that right foot. Gently begin to press the shin into the hands as you pull the hands back into the shin. Maybe closing the eyes here and noticing a little lightening up on that right side or on the side joint. But equal pressure here, pulling down with the hands and pressing up with the shin. Releasing the hands from the shin, interlacing the hands behind that right thigh. Squeeze the thigh down towards the belly. And we're going to try to keep the thigh and the belly connected here. So no space between the thigh and the belly. We're pulling it as close to us as we can. Flex that right foot, and then attempt to kick your right heel first up towards the ceiling. And then maybe if you can straighten the leg, keeping that right thigh attached to the belly, go ahead and attempt to kick that right heel back behind you. Maybe noticing a little quivering, shaking, and notice the leg doesn't have to go straight. Mine certainly doesn't. Make sure you're still breathing here. Good. And now we're going to take our hands and just slide them up our leg. Go ahead, release the thigh from the belly, and find your way into a hamstring stretch. So if you can't easily grab hold of the ankle or the foot, you could of course use a strap or a belt, or even a towel if you need to. We're just finding our way into kind of a soft hamstring stretch here. Just taking one more breath. And releasing. Letting the leg float back up the wall. Take a moment to notice, even with just a few poses, that subtle change between the sides. So for me, my right leg is feeling a little longer than my left, a little bit more relaxed. It tends to want to externally rotate here a little bit more. And take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, let it go. Slowly draw that left knee in towards the chest. Give it a squeeze. And then keeping the hands interlaced over the shin, flex the foot. And we'll start to press the shin into the hands as we pull the hands back into the shin. Again, creating that resistance that begins to open up some space in the low back on that left side. So we might even just close the eyes and tune into that sensation. Now releasing the hands from the shin, interlace them behind that left thigh. Squeeze the thigh towards the belly. Again, keeping them connected here. And then keeping that left foot flexed. As you inhale, just attempt to kick that left heel up towards the ceiling. And maybe back behind you if you have the space, but keeping the thigh and the belly connected. So the intention of this one is not to straighten the leg, but just to get into those hamstrings and get them to fire just a little bit. Now just allow the thigh to release from the belly and maybe slide the hands up if you have the space and find your way into a nice hamstring stretch. You might even gently pull down on the leg and almost feel like the head of the leg bone is just plugging right into the socket. Softly release that left leg up the wall. Take a moment to notice again any change, any similarities between the two sides, any differences. And let's place a bend in both of the knees. If you do have a block here, this would be a good time to use it and place it in between the inner thighs or inner knees the narrow way, but you don't have to use a block. If you don't have a block, keep the feet about hips width distance apart. And try to keep the knees tracking over the ankles. So if you do have that block, energetically squeeze it between the knees. If you don't have one, maybe imagine engaging those inner thigh muscles and hugging in. And then as we inhale, push your feet into the wall and lift the hips, the low back up off the ground as you raise your arms all the way up and overhead. So we don't have to lift too high the first few times. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Good. Exhale to lower. If it starts to feel okay in the body, you can certainly rise up a little bit higher. Make sure the neck stays long here. As you inhale and rise, maybe all the way up to your shoulders. And as you exhale, softly coming back down. Let's take that just a few more times. Inhale, lifting up, swimming the arms overhead. And exhale, slowly lowering down. Taking just one more. Inhale, rising up. Good. Exhale to lower down. Let's grab that block if you have it. Set it to the side, maybe up near the front of the mat. We're going to use it once we get up there potentially. Hug the knees into the chest, rock side to side, and then just choose a side to rock over onto and make your way up to a child's pose. So for this version today, we want the big toes to touch and the knees apart. There's a little bug crawling on the floor there. We'll just let him be. Big toes touch, knees apart. Stretch those arms out in front of you and relax the forehead down on the mat. And then starting to breathe here deeply into the ribs. And just noticing how that breath feels. And see if you can expand the ribs all the way around. And keep breathing deeply into the ribs, and we're going to take our hands off the mat to the right side, all the way off the mat, and then push your left hip back so we feel those intercostal muscles stretching in between the ribs. We feel that whole left side of the body getting a nice deep stretch here. Breathing even a little bit deeper into the ribs. Slowly walking the hands back through center and right off the mat to the other side. And again, just pressing that right hip back towards the heel, really getting that nice deep stretch in the ribs. Just a few more breaths here. And then slowly walk back through center. And let's rise up to hands and knees, table pose. And from here, we're just going to take a few rounds of cat-cow so the tops of the feet are on the mat. The creases of the wrists are under the shoulders. As we inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, relax the shoulders. As you exhale, round the spine, tuck the tail, drop the head. Good, a few more times. Inhale, belly falls, gaze lifts. Exhale, spine rounds and dropping the head. And let's just take one more here. Come back to neutral now, and you need to make sure that you have enough space behind you to be able to straighten out that leg. So just measure, if you're near a wall, measure your distance there. And again, coming back to this neutral table pose, hug the upper arm bones in and just feel really strong and connected here. Take your right leg back behind you, toes will start down on the floor. As we inhale, let's lift the right leg up. As we exhale, turn the toes to the right. So we're externally rotating the leg. Good. Inhale, square the hips. Exhale, turn the leg to the right. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, turn the leg to the right. Good. Inhale, come back through center. This time we're going to add on. Good. As we exhale, open the leg to the right and swim the right arm all the way up and overhead, gaze up. And then as you exhale, come back to start. Inhale, rotate the toes. Take that right arm up. Exhale, drop the right hand, square the hips. Good. Inhale, take the right leg up. Bring the right arm up. And this time, as we exhale, drop the right hand, step the right knee behind the left knee, and sink back for a cross-legged child's pose. Let's put all that together. Inhale, come up, turn the toes, raise the arm. Exhale, cross-legged child's pose. Inhale, come on up. Raise that right arm. Good. Exhale, drop the right hand, right knee. And we'll do just one more. Inhale, come on up. Raise that right arm, raise the right leg. And this time, swim that right arm all the way over the right ear. And breathe. Maybe flex that right foot, maybe gaze underneath your right shoulder, or your right arm. And then if you want a little bit more here, you can reach back with your right hand, catch hold of your right foot. And as you push foot into hand, hand into foot, look up over your right shoulder. Good. And release. Come back through center. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the head. Good. Again, inhale, dropping belly, lifting gaze. Exhale, rounding the spine. Good. Let's inhale, come back through center, and now we'll take that left leg back behind us. Toes start down on the mat. Feel really supported here. Push the ground away from you. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Good, and as we exhale, just rotate the toes to the left, open the hip. Good, rotate the toes back down. And we'll just do that a few times here. Inhale, rotate toes to the left. Exhale, square the hips. Good, inhale, external rotation. Exhale, come back to center. Good, one more time. Inhale, open the leg, raise the left arm up. Exhale, drop the hands, square the hips. Inhale, open up. Exhale, square the hips. Good, inhale, open up to this grounded half moon or half plank. And this time as we exhale, drop the hand, drop that left knee behind the right knee, sink back for our cross-legged child's pose. Inhale, come forward, stretch the leg, stretch the arm. Exhale, drop the hand, cross the legs, and sink back. And just a few more times here. Inhale, come forward, extend the leg and the arm. Exhale, come back to center and sink back. Good, inhale, come forward, extend the leg, extend the arm, and this time we'll take that left arm again all the way up and overhead. Maybe taking your gaze underneath that left arm. And then if you want to, you could reach back with your left hand, catch hold of your foot, and take that little back bend if you want, looking over the left shoulder. Good, and then just release. Come back through center. Take a few rounds of cat-cow here as we inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. As we exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the head. Good, coming back through center, let's take our right foot in between our hands. So if you have blocks here and you can't reach the floor very well, just slide some blocks underneath your hands. And we'll walk our left knee back in space now until we feel a nice stretch in the front of the left hip flexors. Bring your fingertips to the floor here and just press into your right foot. See if you can imagine dragging your right heel back towards your left knee, and then we'll raise our left arm forward. Take your left arm back in space. So right arm forward, left arm back. Press into your right foot. As we inhale, lift the torso, switch the arm. So right arm drops, the left arm lifts. And then inhale, come back through center. Right arm extends, the left arm is back. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, come on forward. Good, one more time. Inhale, come up. Right hand down, left arm lifts. Reach that right hand up, grab hold of the left wrist and lean to the right. So a nice side body stretch here on that left side. Good. Inhale, come on back up. And as we exhale, tap the fingertips down to the mat, shift the hips back, maybe lift those right toes as you melt over that right leg, and just relax into this one. Good. Re-bend into that right knee. Let's slide the right leg back to meet the left. And we'll just do the opposite side now. So taking that left foot forward between the hands, walking your right knee back now until you feel a nice stretch in the right hip flexors, and just kind of relax into that. And this time we'll leave our right fingertips down and raise our left arm forward for just a moment. And now float the right hand back in space. Good, push into that left foot. As we inhale, lift the torso, switch the arms. Good, exhale, come forward, bring the right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come forward, switch the arms. Last time, inhale, lifting up. This time, reach up with that left hand, grab hold of your right wrist, and we'll lean to the left. And just getting that nice side body stretch here. Inhale, come on back up and drop the fingertips down to the mat. Shift the hips back. Let's get a nice hamstring stretch, lifting those left toes and melting the torso down. And slowly rebending into that left knee, then just sliding that left knee back to meet the right knee. And we're going to come to a seat. So for this next one here, if you have your block, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have a block, you're just going to miss out on a little bit of the myofascial release here that we're going to do with the block, but that's okay. We can still get a nice stretch here. So if you have the block, you're going to set it at the second tallest level, and I'm actually going to start with my right side. So set it on the second tallest level here, and then you're going to lay it on your side, and it's just going to go kind of right between the arm and the ribs, and you'll rest your head in your hand. Now, if you don't have a block here, you can just hang out here, and again, you'll just get a little bit less of the myofascial release, but still a little subtle side body stretch. So what we're doing here now is sort of compressing some of the tissues along the side of the body, and I just want us to lean back and lean forward. So kind of just rock back and forth here. It's pretty tender for most of us. I know those muscles in between the ribs are pretty tender. Some of those muscles on the back of the body, we might be just getting into the infraspinatus there, or the teres minor on that right side. And as we come forward, we're getting into the pecs. So start to come more forward, maybe more back. I'm just doing this little rocking motion here. Good. And now the next time you come forward, stay forward. See if you can bring your hands down and roll all the way onto the block so that it's pressing into the pecs. We want to be above the breast tissue here, so we're on the muscle, so closer to the shoulder. And just doing your best to relax into this. And just breathing a few more breaths here. Let's take 3 more breaths. And then just really carefully begin to come off of the block, set it just to the side for now, and stretch your left leg out, hug your right knee into your left inner thigh. And we're just gonna kind of explore that space there. So as you inhale, take the right arm up and pat yourself on the back. Reach up with the left hand, grab hold of your right elbow, and begin to lean towards that left leg. You might gaze underneath your right arm. And just go as far as you can comfortably. Inhale, come on up, and we'll do the other side. So now taking your block, if you have one, and setting it up for that left side body. And again, we're just gonna kind of nestle it right in between the arm and the ribs. And then rest your head and your hand. You can do whatever you want with that other arm there. And first, just kind of settling in. I know this can be uncomfortable, so there's an option if you want it to place a blanket or a towel over the block just so it's a little bit softer, but it does get easier the longer we're here. So now that we've been here a few breaths, you can start that little bit of rocking. So we'll just rock a little bit forward and a little bit back. Just subtly rocking. And then once it starts to feel okay there, maybe you go even further back. Just noticing where you feel tender, where you feel limited or tight. Good. And then the next time you come forward, bring your hands down and see if you can kind of melt forward onto your hands here. And just let the weight of the body press into the block if you have one. Just letting gravity do the job for us. About 3 more breaths here. And then press your way on up to seated again. You can set the block to the side. And we slide our right leg out to the side. Bring that left foot into the inner right thigh. Swim your left arm up, maybe pat yourself on the back. And then take your right hand up to catch hold of your left elbow. And again, we'll lean towards that right leg, but make sure that you're not folding forward here. So it's a nice side body stretch. You can look underneath that left arm if you have the space. And just leaning over as much as you can. Almost there. Good. And slowly come on up. So now we're just going to lay down onto our backs. So we'll start with a bend in the knees. You don't need that block anymore. Just take a moment here on our backs with our arms alongside us to just notice how it's feeling in the ribs. Maybe noticing from when we started the practice if you can breathe a little bit more freely. And then just stretch the legs down. Relax the shoulders. Relax down through the ribs. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, let it go. Just taking a few moments of rest here in Shavasana. When you're ready, begin to deepen the breath. Move the fingers and the toes. And gently turn the head side to side. And just sliding the legs together, maybe taking the arms straight up, or if you have space, taking them all the way overhead. And as you exhale, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Finding your way up to a seat when you're ready. And thank you guys so much again for watching. Namaste.